there, good morning, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex Laux, and today we are going to be talking about a camera that I don't really use that often, but was recently inspired by my good friend Ali to take out and talk about. And that is the Zeiss Ikon Ikonta 521. It's a medium format folder. It takes 16 images on 120 film. And it's just a great little camera that I came across last year. And yeah, it's not one I take out that often. There's a few little niggly bits about it, but enough of me talking. You probably want to see me shooting it and talk a little bit about the history, the optics, and my overall experience with it. So I'm here in downtown Milton. Let's go. If I were to use a single word to describe the Ikonta 521, that word is cute. This is a small camera that fits in your hand or pocket, or any crevice you have in your camera bag if size is an issue. But don't let the size worry you. This still produces a large image. Remember, it takes 120 film, and it shoots in the standard 6x4.5 centimeter format. So you're already larger than your average 35mm frame. The exposure controls are positioned around the lens and shutter. You have a decent set of apertures, with the fastest being f4.5 and stopping all the way down to f22. Shutter speeds, you have 1 second to 1/300th of a second. There are some issues with the camera. The number one being that it's a scale focus camera. So that will immediately turn some people off. However, they did build in some sort of help. There is a red dot on both an aperture and the scale focus meter. The red dot is at f11, so really you can shoot between f8 and f16 and just set that scale focus to that same red dot and you'll have no problems at all. The second is the actual composition. There is just a simple iron sight. So really, just shoot from the hip and hope for the best. And I've only messed up a few times. So by this point, you've been seeing me use the camera in two different orientations. Most of the time I'm shooting like this because as a 645 camera and the way the film is loaded in the back, it travels this way. So natively, the film is in portrait orientation. And I really don't shoot a lot of my work here in urban environments in that orientation. A few times. Most of the time I'm shooting in landscape orientation, and that's why I really like my Mamiya a lot more than I like your average folder. So I've tended to come up with a bit of a cradle sort of holding pattern. It does create a bit more of a problem with parallax error with the viewfinder here and a bit of stability issues, but I've achieved that by shooting at 1/100th of a second or 1/300th of a second. But still more to shoot, so let's keep going. Despite the fact that my model does not have the Carl Zeiss Tessar lens like the upper tier Ikonta 521s do, the Novar-Anastigmat lens is just as strong a performer, and I have no complaints about the optics as well. The biggest concern I have is that it does tend to flare a little bit more, but I mean, what can you do for a mid-50s camera? The weak point of the 521 remains that it is a folder and has bellows. Like any bellows-based camera, these are fairly fragile and can be pinholed or even outright torn. And while pinholing might create some sort of interesting ethereal quality to your images, the tear will outright ruin any film you run through it. So if you are interested in obtaining one, make sure that you have a chance to check it out first and use a flashlight to really check out those bellows, look for any pinholing. Most pinholing can be easily fixed, but outright tears are a little more difficult. So you really don't want to be spending too much money on cameras that have bad bellows. Wow, that covers it. All 16 frames shot, and I don't think I messed anything up. I like this camera. It's not one I use often because of the various issues that I brought up in regards to scale focusing, limited shutter speeds, and no way to actually mount a meter. I always have to have an external meter with me. In this case today I was shooting my Gossen Lunasix F. Having a hot shoe on this would make life so much easier. I could just use my Ravini meter. But once I get my Ravini spot meter, that'll be the meter I'll probably take along with that because it's a little smaller. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely hope I can take this out a little more often this year. But when you shoot as many cameras as I do on a regular basis, sometimes these little folders just end up at the back of your cabinet and you really don't see them that often. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you definitely want to get notified when I post new videos. I post about 2-3 videos a month. Hit that like button and leave me a comment. What are your experiences with folders? Do you prefer ones with fixed rangefinders, or do you just like the zone focus one? And as always, get out there, stay safe, shoot some cool film photos.